Welcome to Doing the Dang Thing podcast. I am your host, Jill Schmeeding, and this podcast is all about helping everyday women play big and aspire for more. On this episode, I'm going to be talking to you about just like a little tidbit to remember as you do life. And as you can hear in my voice, I am sick, and so this episode is going to be a little bit shorter than normal because I just want to get it out there, ready for you to listen, and then get back to resting my voice specifically. You know, this week has been an interesting one for me, if I'm being honest with you, and I'm not going to get into the details, but there is a screensaver that I keep on my cell phone that I look at every single time I pick up my phone. And the screensaver says, remember to be kind when you state what you want, and be careful not to overshare in the process. And most importantly, make sure it's a hell yes. That is my screensaver on my cell phone. Okay. The first one is remember to be kind when you state what you want. Why do I have this? Because as my mom has reminded me so many times in my life, sometimes I can ask for things or say things in not the most nice and pleasant way, and try to have, she was like, you can have tact, you can be honest, but just have tact. And I was just like, okay, fine. Yeah. So being kind when I state what I want from friends, from siblings, from my family members, from my coworkers. Oh my gosh, my coworkers specifically. Just remember to be kind. This is, again, just a reminder for you. This is how I play big in my life. And I think sometimes these little reminders really do add up to a lot. And so being kind when you ask for what you want, okay? The second one is be careful not to overshare in the process. I know people, and I'm super jealous of these people who tend to keep things close to their chest, right? They keep their cards close to their chest, I think is the saying. You know what I'm trying to say. They don't tell their secrets. They don't tell their business. And that is something I struggle with personally. I have gotten extremely better, but I have a long ways to go. And to the degree where someone was telling me something, or I wanted to know something about someone, and the person was just like, you make sure you don't tell anyone. And I was just like, and he goes, you got issues with that, Jill. And I was just like, yeah, I know. I said, sometimes when I feel like it's not a big deal, then I might tell someone, because I'm like, to me, it's not a big deal, so I can tell. But if it's a huge deal, and if it impacts me specifically, then I'm definitely not going to be telling these secrets, right? And so I have a degree on whether or not I loose lips sink ships sort of thing. Whether I fall into that category or not. But in this particular situation with this particular person, I just realized my issue, and I wasn't in denial about that. And so I said, you know what? Forget about it. I don't want to know what it is. I don't want to know the secret, because I know I struggle to keep secrets sometimes about people. And so please do not tell me what that is. And in that moment, this person didn't tell me this, but later on he was like, yeah, I really actually respected you for saying that, versus like hounding him for him to tell me. And so I was just like, I'm tired of being in denial and lying to myself about things. So yes, I do tend to struggle to keep secrets. I'm going to be honest about that. And so I'm also going to be honest. Don't tell me your secrets. I don't get the privilege of knowing things until I can keep my mouth shut. And that is hard to say out loud. And I'm sure a lot of my friends were like, what? Jill, what? Oh my God, I'm not going to tell you anymore. That's fine. That's totally fine. Until I prove myself, and I have proven myself to so many people that I can do it. But until I prove myself to you, don't tell me your secrets. The number 3 thing is, most importantly, make sure it's a hell yes. Make sure it's a hell yes. Oh my God. This particular reminder is so important for me, because I have recently come to realize in my life that because of my upbringing, because of my traumatic upbringing and different traumas, the things that I've been through that are traumatic, I am constantly saying yes to things that I should not be saying yes to. They are not a hell yes. They are I'm desperate for this, and so I'm going to say yes. I am lonely, and so I'm going to say yes. I want to be included, and so I'm going to say yes. These are not hell yeses. These are not situations that I should be saying yes to at all. And it's gotten me into a lot of trouble. And it's hurt people because of that. Because I say yes, and then like last week's episode, you have the right to change your mind. You absolutely have the right to change your mind. I do believe that. But when other people are involved, when you change your mind, there's consequences for that. And so that is what I'm learning. And I want to go forward with my life, making sure that every decision that I make is a hell yes. And if it is not a hell yes, then it's a no. I've heard that on so many times on Instagram, by the way, all these videos. It's not new information, but it is a good reminder. Make sure everything that you're doing is a hell yes. So these are just some tips that I wanted to remind you, tips that I use for my own personal life when I'm trying to play big, and when I'm trying to aspire for more. I'm going to try to be kind when I state what I want. I'm going to be careful not to overshare. I think that is a huge, like a great characteristic that someone can have, is keeping their mouth shut. And it's something that I strive for every single day. And then most importantly, make sure that anything you say yes to, it's a hell yes. And if it isn't, let it go by the wayside. You will be better off without it. I promise you something better will come up. I hope these 3 tips help you. They feel, I had a whole episode planned for you, which will be coming up in the next week or so, but I just wanted to have a little bit better voice for that one because it's a little bit more talking. So today I just went off the cuff and I was just like, what felt right for me, listening to my intuition. My inner Elsie told me this is the message that needed to be put out there this week. So I appreciate you listening and tuning in to Doing the Dang Thing podcast. Again, I am your host, Jill Schmeeding, and I encourage you to keep playing big in whatever way, shape, or form that is. Keep aspiring for more in your life and keep growing. Thanks so much.